Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Show. On this week's episode, we sit down with Katie Skeens to discuss her recent trip to the NCAA Convention in Indianapolis, and Frank Sammons and Simmeon Gastineau join us to discuss their recent trip to Jamaica with the men's soccer team. Stay tuned.
Frank Sammons and Simmeon Gastineau are now on set with us. Guys, you recently had a trip to Jamaica. It seemed amazing. Could you each start by reflecting a little bit on this experience?
Well, I know for me it was fantastic. My first experience out of the States, and definitely one I'll never forget. I think it was really cool. It was just to see what the culture was like and to see everyone so friendly that we came in contact with. All the Jamaicans were so friendly and they were never afraid to come up to you and see how your day is doing and just start small talk. Something that you're really not used to here in the States. Usually when you pass by someone, you're usually quiet, but to them, they see a whitey like me and they were all over it. So they knew I was like a tourist, and I think that was my favorite part, was getting to meet a lot of new people and actually interact with the Jamaicans. It's definitely an experience, and the way they interact, it's an experience in its own. I loved it. I definitely want to go back.
I'd say the same. I go back. I enjoyed the friendliness and open and welcomeness of the entire culture. I never felt unwelcomed or not wanted while we were there. And it was just a great experience. It was also really humbling as well, seeing some of the things how they live their lives compared to how we live ours. It is an eye-opener to see some of the things that we take for granted. And so it's really humbling as well. If I had to say, probably my favorite experience probably would have been at the School of Deaf Kids where we were working. Just the entire 10 days we were there was great team bonding, and we got to see a lot of Jamaica and some of the things there. So I really enjoyed that and helping them out.
So if you had to choose, what was one thing or one experience that was your favorite?
I think for me, my one favorite experience was, well, to back up a little bit, Coach Good and Coach Corey told us all to bring as much soccer equipment as we could along so that we could leave it there. And growing up with a family of 4 siblings, we all played soccer, and I was able to pack 2 duffel bags full of soccer equipment. And when we got to Jamaica, our first place we went to, like what Frank said, was Maranatha, the school for deaf children. And one of the guys there, his name was Brent. He had a bunch of friends who would play local pickup football with, soccer. And I also got in the habit of calling it football, so I feel really part of the culture. But anyway, I was able to pack probably close to 10 sets of cleats, and Brent was able to make use of every single one of those cleats to the guys that we played locally with while we were at our stay at Maranatha. And when we played, I was able to see a bunch of guys that like, wait, I have those cleats. Wait, these guys are all wearing my sets of cleats that I gave them. It was really awesome to see, and just like it made me smile so big. So it's like to know that I can make an impact all the way from Indiana. So.
One thing I thought was really cool was before we went on the trip, we were told that we would be going to certain parts of Jamaica where they've probably never seen a white person before. So I was a little open to that, but one thing that stuck out was when we were in Augustown, which is right outside of Kingston. We went to an elementary school, and I had a group of little kids ask me if they could touch my face and told me they had never seen a ginger before because I had a red beard. They thought it was the craziest thing. And so it's a funny experience, but it's something I never think of. I just have red hair. But for them to want to touch my face because they've never seen a ginger, I thought it was pretty funny. It's something I'll always remember.
All right, well, I'm glad you had fun. Thank you for joining with us.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's time for your weekly highlights segment. We start by visiting Stauffer Wolf Arena as the men's basketball team played host to the HCHC foe Franklin College. A high-scoring affair came down to the wire as the Spartans just nudged out the Grizzlies 98-96. The Spartans pulled out to a small lead early in the first half and never looked back. The close contest saw MU lead for most of the game and ultimately get the victory. As a team, the Spartans shot almost 62% from the field and 58% from 3. On the defensive side of the ball, the Black and Gold forced 16 turnovers out of the Grizzlies. The victory bumps the Spartans' conference win tally up to 3. The Spartans wrestling team had tough competition on the mats this past Friday as they welcomed in a fellow Northeastern Indiana opponent. The fifth-ranked NAIA program, Indiana Tech, visited Stauffer Wolf for a duel. While the Warriors were able to upend the Spartans 37-9, there were positives to come from the event. Junior 133-pounder Ben Kaufman and senior 197-pounder Alex Roberts were both able to pull victories from the Spartans. Kaufman was able to jump out to a 10-point lead on his opponent and eventually won via disqualification. Roberts then picked up the second win for MU in a thrilling 8-6 victory.
Kate, you recently made the trip to Indianapolis for the NCAA Convention. Can you start by telling us a little bit about your role within the group for Manchester?
This year, Division III started a mentoring program, and I was chosen as a student athlete from Manchester to be a mentee to a professional in the field in our conference. So my mentor is the athletic trainer from Defiance College. So my career interest is to be a physical therapist, and she's an athletic trainer. So we met up at the conference meeting, and she kind of gave me pointers on how to boost my resume and stuff like that. Also, I was there as the voice for student athletes, so when they were talking and going over legislation, I was at the round tables as the only student athlete giving my opinion for representing all student athletes.
Okay. Were there any main points that you took away from the convention?
I really found it interesting how they voted on the legislation. It's really a intricate process, and to sit and listen and how they vote on that and propose ideas was really cool.
Thanks for representing your fellow Spartans at the convention, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
The Spartan Show MVP of the week is Enes Basarevic of the men's basketball team. Basarevic played crucial minutes for the Spartans this past week as they battled conference rivals Franklin and Transylvania. Both tightly fought affairs. Enes scored a combined 30 points and contributed 10 rebounds to the pair of matchups. Congratulations, Enes.
That's all the time we have for this edition of the Spartan Show. Stay up to date with all Manchester University's stats, scores, and news by visiting muspartans.com, the internet home for Spartan athletics. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. To watch our latest video, click the box here. To subscribe to our channel, click this circle.